Our first Halloween in Oak Hollow began long before October ever arrived. Even in early September, when the air still clung to a trace of summer, I could tell something about this town was different. Every house on our street, every single one was already decorated, but not in the usual suburban way. There were no inflatable ghosts waving in the wind, no smiling scarecrows or pumpkin wreaths from Etsy. The decorations here were old-fashioned, deliberate, the kind that felt like they carried meaning. Bones arranged carefully in garden beds, rotted wooden signs pointing toward made-up graveyards, hand-carved jack-o'-lanterns that burned every night without fail. And none of them were cute. Their faces were contorted, cruel, or sorrowful, like the pumpkins themselves had been in pain when carved. My daughter, Leela, thought it was cool. Finally, she said, holding up her phone to film the glowing street. A neighborhood that actually gets Halloween. I just smiled, but something about it unsettled me. The decorations were too uniform, too coordinated. It was like they all belonged to the same tradition, a tradition nobody had told me about. Still, I wanted to fit in. We carved our pumpkins together one windy Sunday. Lila made this insanely detailed one-horned demon face that looked straight out of a movie. Mine were less impressive. 2 lopsided triangle-eyed pumpkins, one for each side of the porch. She placed hers on the top step. "This one's the protector," she said. "It has to be out front." I laughed, but later that night, when I saw the candlelight flickering through its grin, I had to admit, it looked almost alive. And then the rules appeared. It was 3 days before Halloween when I found them taped to our front door. 3 sheets of paper, slightly damp from dew. The top one was titled, "Guidelines for Home Participation." I almost tossed them, thinking it was a community newsletter. But then I read the first line. "Please respect all trick-or-treaters. Teal buckets indicate food allergies. Blue buckets indicate autism. Black buckets do not belong to any child. Do not engage. Do not offer candy. Do not open your door for anyone dressed as a clown. If a child knocks asking to come inside, only allow them entry if the streetlights are flickering. Should you open your door to find a child standing facing away from you, shut the door immediately. Do not answer your back door. If 3 children dressed as a sailor, fairy, and beast visit your home, offer each something of emotional worth. They will not leave until you do. Do not approach houses with unlit pumpkins. Trick-or-treating begins at 5 p.m. sharp and ends at 8 p.m. sharp. You must participate for the entire duration." Below that, a second page titled "Guidelines for Trick-or-Treaters." Teal equals food allergies. Blue equals autism. Never use black buckets. Avoid clown costumes. Avoid houses visited by anyone wearing one. If the streetlights begin flickering, seek shelter in the nearest lit home. Always travel in groups. Do not approach the stone house at 19 Elmridge Lane. Avoid dressing as a sailor, fairy, or beast. 1 lit jack-o'-lantern per member of your household. Remain outdoors until 8 p.m. The final page was short, typed in bold. Participation in Oak Hollow's Halloween celebration is mandatory. Choose your role giver or seeker. Follow the rules. Welcome the night. I laughed out loud. It had to be a prank. "Lila," I called. "You've got to see this." She came downstairs, hair up in a messy bun, still in her hoodie from school. "Oh, the Halloween rules?" I blinked. "You know about them?" "Yeah," she said. "They do it every year. It's kind of serious here." "What do you mean serious?" Her expression darkened. "Just follow them, Mum, okay?" I raised an eyebrow. "This is a joke, right?" But she didn't laugh. Promise me. That was the first time I felt a real chill. Halloween night came crisp and silent. The moon was full, hanging low over the roofs, and the air smelled like smoke and candy. Lila had gone off with 2 friends from school, promising to be back by 8. I sat by the door with a bowl of candy and a half-empty glass of wine. An old horror movie playing quietly in the background. At first, everything was normal. Kids in costume, laughter echoing down the block, the sound of leaves scraping the pavement. Then came the knock. 3 soft taps. When I looked through the peephole, I saw 3 little girls in princess costumes, purple, green, and gold. I smiled and opened the door. Trick or treat, they sang. But then I saw what they were holding. Each of them had a small, glossy black candy bucket. For a second, I froze. The rule sheet flashed through my mind. Black buckets do not belong to any child. Cute costumes, I managed, voice trembling slightly. Sorry, I'm out of candy. One of the girls tilted her head. None of them smiled. I slowly closed the door. And just before it shut, I swear I saw one of them grin. Rows of tiny, needle-like teeth. I tried to shake it off. Told myself I was being ridiculous. Probably just fake fangs. Kids wear worse at Spirit Halloween. Then Lila texted me. Lila, don't open the door for the clown. I frowned. Me. Yeah, I saw that rule. Are people actually doing that? Lila, Mum, I'm serious. He's in our neighborhood. Just turn off the porch light if he comes. I didn't even have time to respond before ding dong. My stomach dropped. I crept to the door and looked through the peephole. A man stood there. Not a kidderman. Back turned toward me. A red and white costume, ruffled collar, rubber wig. And in his gloved hand, something long and gleaming. An axe. I stopped breathing. My phone buzzed again. Layla, turn off the light. Now. My shaking hand reached for the switch. The porch light went out. Through the peephole, I watched as the clown slowly turned. His painted grin stretched wide under the moonlight, his head twisting farther than it should have. I stumbled back, pressing myself against the wall. The sound of footsteps faded down the porch, out into the night. When I finally looked again, he was gone. Me. He left. Lila. Don't open the door again. Me. I'm calling the police. Leela. They'll just tell you to follow the rules. I hesitated and called anyway. 911. What's your emergency? There's a man outside my house, dressed as a clown. He has an axe. Ma'am, where are you located? Oak Hollow. A pause. Then, calmly. Keep your lights off and stay inside. What? He won't harm you as long as you follow the guidelines. The what? The Halloween guidelines, ma'am. You've read them. The line went dead. I was still shaking when the doorbell rang again. 3 figures stood outside. A sailor. A fairy. A beast. Rule 6, they didn't speak. They only stared, small hands holding out their buckets. I swallowed hard. Wait here. I ran to the living room. My eyes landed on a framed photo Lila and me at the carnival last year. Cotton candy and sunshine. My favorite picture. I hated myself as I handed it to the sailor. He nodded once, then turned and walked away. The fairy waited. I grabbed my old sketchbook, the one I'd used all through college, filled with paintings I'd never show anyone. The fairy accepted it, then drifted away. That left the beast, masked, silent, watching me. What do you want? I whispered. He lifted a gloved hand and pointed not at me, but toward the hallway, toward Lila's room. My breath hitched. No. He tilted his head. The mask grinned. You can't have her, I whispered. Take anything else. The beast lowered his arm, then turned. and walked into the darkness. When Lila finally came home, it was after 8. She stood at the bottom of the steps, staring up at the porch. "Mom?" I opened the door, heart pounding. "You're okay?" She nodded slowly. "Yeah, but one of your pumpkins went out." "What?" I looked down. Sure enough, Lila's demon-faced jack-o'-lantern was dark. "Maybe the candle died," I said weakly. Her eyes darted around the yard. "I don't think I should come inside." "What are you talking about?" "The rules. Houses with unlit pumpkins." She took a step back. "I'll stay with friends tonight, just in case." Weeks passed, but something about her changed. Leela never used to wake up at dawn to walk the woods. Never used to fill her sketchbook with drawings of creatures that watch from trees. She blinked slower, spoke softer. Sometimes I caught her staring into the dark corners of the room, smiling faintly. And then, months later, I found out I was pregnant. It didn't make sense. The timing didn't make sense. And when I remembered that Halloween night, the beast child pointing toward my daughter, me begging it to take anything but her, I realized what I had traded away. It's October again now. We've moved far from Oak Hollow into a small, quiet town with no strange traditions. But every night, as I rock my newborn daughter to sleep, I see flickers of orange light outside the window. Faint, rhythmic, like the glow of carved faces smiling in the dark. And I wonder if this year, they've come to collect what I promised them.